Sometimes a man doesn't pull away because he stopped caring. Sometimes he pulls away because he started caring more than he expected. And that sudden shift can feel overwhelming. At the beginning of a connection, everything feels easy. There's curiosity, excitement, a sense of discovery between two people. Conversations flow naturally. Messages come quickly. Plans feel spontaneous. Nothing feels heavy yet, because nothing truly important has been placed at risk. In those early moments, people feel free. Free to flirt. Free to enjoy the connection. Free to explore what might grow between them. But there comes a moment in many relationships where something changes. It's subtle, almost invisible. Yet it transforms the emotional atmosphere completely. The connection becomes real. Maybe it happens during a late conversation where both of you suddenly speak more honestly than usual. Maybe it happens when you share something personal, or when he reveals something about himself that he normally keeps hidden. Sometimes it happens in silence, a quiet moment where you simply feel closer than before. And once that closeness appears, something inside him may begin to shift. Because closeness brings a new awareness, the awareness that this person now matters. Before that moment, the connection was enjoyable. After that moment, the connection becomes meaningful, and meaning creates emotional weight. For many people, that emotional weight feels natural. It feels like the beginning of something deeper. But for someone who values independence and emotional control, that weight can feel unfamiliar. Because caring deeply about someone introduces vulnerability. And vulnerability creates uncertainty. When another person begins to matter to you, their presence suddenly affects your emotional world. Their approval matters. Their absence matters. Their reactions matter. And if someone has spent most of their life learning to manage emotions alone, that sudden emotional influence can feel uncomfortable. Even frightening, not in a dramatic way, but in a quiet, internal way. A subtle sense that something is moving faster than expected, that emotions are becoming stronger than planned. And when that happens, the instinct is often to slow everything down, to regain balance, to create space where emotions can settle. That space might appear as distance. Fewer messages, less frequent conversations, a shift in tone. Nothing clearly hostile, just a sense that the energy between you has changed. And from the outside, that shift can feel confusing. Because just days earlier, everything seemed warm, connected, hopeful. But once emotions grow deeper than someone feels prepared to handle, distance can feel like the safest response. Not because the connection was false, but because the connection suddenly became powerful enough to disrupt their emotional equilibrium. When emotions become too strong too quickly, people instinctively search for stability. And for someone with avoidant tendencies, stability often means creating distance from intense emotional experiences. They step back, not necessarily because they want to lose the connection, but because they want to regain control over how deeply it affects them. From their perspective, that distance can feel necessary. From your perspective, it can feel confusing. Because the warmth didn't disappear completely, it simply became quieter. That quiet shift can be difficult to interpret, because nothing clearly ended. There was no argument, no clear rejection, no explanation that fully makes sense, just a gradual change in presence. And when someone pulls back without explaining why, the mind naturally tries to find answers. You replay conversations, you search for the exact moment when things changed. You wonder if something you said caused the shift. If perhaps you moved too quickly, or asked for too much. But sometimes the real reason lies deeper than anything that happened between the two of you. Sometimes the reason lies inside him. Because emotional closeness does something powerful. It lowers defenses. It invites people to open parts of themselves they usually keep protected. And once those defenses lower, feelings can grow quickly. Faster than expected. Faster than someone may feel prepared to handle. When that happens, the instinct to create distance can appear almost automatically. Distance creates breathing room. Breathing room allows emotions to settle. And once emotions settle, the sense of control begins to return. For someone who values emotional independence, that control is important. Without it, relationships can feel overwhelming, not because the other person is demanding, but because emotional closeness itself creates intensity. And intensity can feel destabilizing for someone who has spent years maintaining emotional distance. This is why the situation can appear contradictory, because the same connection that felt meaningful may suddenly feel threatening. The same closeness that felt comforting may begin to feel overwhelming. And when those feelings appear together, distance becomes the compromise. Not total disappearance, not complete rejection, just enough separation to restore emotional balance. From the outside, it may look like someone losing interest, but internally, it may feel more like someone protecting themselves from emotional overload. Because once feelings become strong enough to affect someone deeply, the instinct to regain stability becomes powerful. And stability, for many avoidant personalities, comes from independence, from emotional space, from time alone to process experiences privately. So the distance you see may not mean the connection was meaningless. Sometimes it means the connection was meaningful enough to create emotions that felt difficult to manage. And when emotions feel difficult to manage, people instinctively create the one thing that helps them regain control: space. Not always forever, not always intentionally, but long enough for their emotional world to feel steady again. Which means the distance may not be a sign that the connection didn't matter. Sometimes it's a sign that the connection mattered more than they were prepared for.